open the meeting for the Town of Kensington Town Council meeting for Monday, May 9th. And first thing item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Dan? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Look at the screen. We get everybody in now?
Yes. Yep, everybody's done.
Great. All right, this is our time for a moment of silence. Is there anyone that we would like to lift up? Would like to lift up? Go ahead.
Oh, my neighbor, Angela Fredwell.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And Bon Gurney on Frederick Place, not Frederick Place, on Kensington Parkway, the circle, court, thank you, lost her son. So, yeah, the one with diabetes, yeah. Yes,
I mentioned Mike Weber, who he lived up Derwich and he's Kensington a lot. He used to be at the tea room and be at the bookstore, and he was in our poker. And I don't know if you all knew, we dealt in coins and that sort of thing. He was always around Kensington. He passed away.
okay. Oh, it's Mike Weber.
Mike Weber,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you, Alice. If we could just is there anyone online that has somebody that we want to bring up?
I think Jack might have his hand up.
Jack, do you have your hand up?
Yeah, I would also like to mention Mike Weber, who was one of the guys who hung out around in the tea room in Ellie's bookstore. He was a childhood friend. He grew up with Gary Ditter, lifelong friend. His obituary was in the Washington Post yesterday.
Okay, thank you. Okay, will you just start it for a moment? Thank you very much. All right, Council, you all received copy of the minutes. I know we made a few changes. Connor, you just went over them with Nate.
Yep.
Was there any other changes or any questions? Need a motion to approve the minutes?
Move to approve the minutes from the April town council meetings.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And I think most people know, if you're on Zoom, our council member, Bridget Hills Ayad is on Zoom. So she is present, she's just
She
doing
gave
it.
us the thumbs up.
She did.
I said aye.
She did.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Move down to the town elections announcement. Matt, do you want to do that for me?
Sure. Nomination period ended at 4 p.m. this evening. We had 3 candidates running for 2 council positions. Nate Engel was running for re-election, John Gerson and Ann Lichter. We have 1 candidate running for mayor, Aaron Furman was running for re-election. We got civil members.
Yeah, technical issue. Oh,
Yeah, I guess you accidentally get removed. Yeah.
yeah, sorry. Okay. Yes, okay, great. And we will be having a candidates forum in person and on Zoom on Monday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Does the audience have any questions or anyone online? Yes. Yes. Okay. Number 2, the St. Paul's alcohol waiver. The Juneteenth committee for the Racial Justice Committee is putting on a celebration on Saturday, Juneteenth, and they have requested an alcohol waiver from the council for St. Paul's Park so they can create
beer and wine garden in the park, and they have vendors lined up if the council approves it. Any discussion?
Just more details on the time of day.
It's 12 to 4
Yep.
on a Saturday,
Okay.
same time on Sunday if it rains.
Mhm.
So it's a daytime activity.
I haven't seen enough Juneteenth celebrations from Chris. I cannot imagine this without an alcoholic.
All right. Any other questions from the council?
No, it'll be a great event. I mean, I don't know. Anyone wants to talk about it, but you've been involved with the planning group as well. You do a lot of historical elements, reenactments, tables set up around the history and some performances.
There'll be musical groups that are coming. They're really good. Just want to touch on it at all, or if you do, you have to come up to the.
Sure, I
mic.
mean, just briefly,
That'd be great.
early promotion. So for those of you following along, we're going to have the inaugural Juneteenth celebration for the town of Kensington at State Fall Park. Saturday, June 18th, 12 to 4 p.m. It's designed to be a family-friendly event with educational presentations. We'll have musical performers, poetry, food vendors, activities for children. We're going to partner with Kensington Can and others. And along with that comes a time to celebrate the fact that we had emancipation in this country in Montgomery County, and part of celebration is the music and the food. And the plan is to feature some Black-owned breweries, and we may be able to feature the new Kensington Brewery, but that's not determined yet.
Yep.
So we'd appreciate the support.
Does anyone in the audience have a question regarding on Zoom or in person about the request? See any hands? Any hands in the audience in person? Council, do you want to make a motion?
Yes. That we approved an alcohol waiver, one-day waiver for the Juneteenth celebration, June 18th at St. Paul Park with a rain date of June 19th, however that gets written.
Okay, second. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Bridget. Okay. So we go down to number 3, the 10619 Connective Avenue, 100 Kensington.
Just a quick update on one development project within the town, 10619 Connecticut Avenue is Connecticut and Flyers Mill. It is the Huggins property where Hawkins is currently operating. And this is just an update that they are going to have their public hearing with the Montgomery County Planning Board. They have been scheduled for May 19th. That meeting begins at 2:30 p.m. and they are item number 7 on the agenda. However, planning said first several items will probably go fairly quickly. So if you're looking at the agenda, I would log in 2:30, 2:40, and just be prepared for that. So this is at the site plan level. This project has gone through the DRB several times. It's been before the council several times. We have supported the project with some conditions that we've communicated with to the planning. They've just been working on details with planning and now it's moving along.
Council, do you have any questions?
Do you have any rates on how they're addressing the issue of road redesign? No efficiency, energy.
No, I've not spoken to him about it. Most of what I've been listening to about it recently has just been stormwater management. They just had to reconfigure the plan and work through it to get the DPS approved. But they are, that process, even if it's through site plan, will be continual.
Okay, we had that, remember we had to carefully.
Life is like a
It happens. But no, not any more discussion.
Okay.
Mhm.
Make sure.
Yep.
Maybe it's quickly about the stormwater management.
No, the 19th is their initial site plan meeting.
Oh.
So,
This is actually their first one, really.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
You may want to think to your point, just, you may want to look at what is being discussed there, because my understanding is this is such a small project.
Yeah.
There may not be multiple iterations.
This might be it.
Yes, so they, yeah, you might, would you remind you of their commitment to.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions about the 10619 project? Anyone online? Leslie? You're on mute, Leslie.
I had just written in one question, if somebody could just review the exiting procedures for the traffic leaving that site. It's been a while since I've actually heard how they are going to get out.
Sure. So there's a number of curb cuts presently on the property. They're actually going to eliminate 2 of them. And so what the remaining ingress egress is going to be is, as you approach the project northbound on Connecticut Avenue and you come across the CSX bridge, there will be that immediate first curb cut that will remain. It will be a right in, right out only. So you can make a right into the property. And if you're leaving the property, you must make a right-hand turn and continue northbound. As you come around Pliers Mill and then around Metropolitan, what they're going to do is have an easement with the 7-Eleven property. And so the parking lot from this will connect to the parking lot at 7-Eleven. And the next exiting point will be along Metropolitan Avenue at the current exit to the 7-Eleven Manny's parking lot. And then so there's one curb cut on Connecticut and one on Pliers Mill that exists today that they are going to be giving up and abandoning.
Okay, so the existing issues of people leaving that 7-Eleven driveway and trying to make a left turn are going to be magnified. Is that correct? There's been no change? Because it's simply at the courtesy of people allowing anyone leaving that shopping center to leave, and more traffic. That was always a question. I don't understand how they're going to be able to do that.
Montgomery County Planning along with DOT has said that they're reviewing additional improvements to make, because they realize what's happening is where the stop bar is, if you are headed east on Pliers Mill towards St. Paul Park, and you come to where you would make a right on Metropolitan, where the stop bar is currently located, is so far forward that cars kind of tap and go, and it makes it very difficult to find spacing between vehicles in order to get out of the Manny's 7-Eleven parking lot. So parking planning and DOT are looking at changes they will make along that stretch to change the stop bar, pull it back westbound a little bit, align it to the end of the median to create more spacing between vehicles as they make those right-hand turns.
And then if they wanted to make a left-hand turn, leaving 7-Eleven to get back maybe on Connecticut or something, how would that work? Because traffic fills both lanes. So they'll
make it the same way they make it today, right? If they're leaving from the exit point at Manny's and 7-Eleven, they would make a left-hand turn out, which is a legal maneuver, and they would get into the immediate lane that would go left onto westbound Pliers Mill, and then they'd be able to feed into, presumably if you're looking to go southbound on Connecticut, that's how that maneuver would work, which is what happens today.
Okay, so they really aren't giving any consideration to the additional cars, and that's so everything kind of remains the same. Okay.
Hold on a second.
It's not me.
And yeah, stop.
Sorry.
Okay. Hey, we're going to postpone for just a second, guys, for some technical issues.
I already got him. I kicked out too.
Jim.
Get you this way. People, sorry.
Yes.
Mom's that person. This.
Right there.
We're so.
That person.
This guy.
Don't let him know. He's okay. He's right.
Don't let me speak. Don't let me speak. I'm gonna try and come in.
Are we back?
We'll be back in one moment, just verifying.
Come back in.
Okay, Jerry's a good guy.
Okay.
Jerry, Jerry Watkins is a good guy. Okay.
He did not prompt for a password when I joined. You might want to change that. So just like when I did the test, like I wasn't signed in as I was just a guest and it never prompted for a password. This is something you might want to check on.
Yep. All right, we ready?
Sorry,
No, that's good.
very long process.
So we're going to continue, just for those at home. We have some folks who are maybe not playing nice with Zoom. So if we have to pause again, apologies. Leslie, as I was continuing, so that maneuver will remain the same. They are looking to make improvements more where kind of the mess is and where Concord is. They're going to pull back some stop bars to make, try and make improvements to make the egress out of along the metropolitan area improved. But, this is something that Parking Plan and DOT have looked at, and they say that, there is sufficient maneuverability. Darren, do you have other comments?
The only other comment, Leslie, since you live up there with me, is that people frequently cut through the walk-in site as a way to bypass the light, and the applicant has agreed if that becomes an issue where people are cutting through this line in order to get to Metropolitan, and they don't seem to be customers of the site, there's really that access. So it is one of those things where they want this site to succeed and they don't really want to serve as a cut through. So they're prepared to adapt as the problems develop.
I have a question.
Who's that, Sharon?
Sharon, are we going to have a dedicated right turn lane off of Connecticut Avenue North onto Metropolitan at that intersection?
No, short answer. There was several years ago, there was some thought given to a right turn, a dedicated right turn. And as emphasis on pedestrian safety has grown, and I know that the county and the state were less interested in giving the pedestrian like a longer way to run, or a longer way to cross, and also it teaches the movers to sort of whip around the corner. So my understanding is that planning would actively oppose a dedicated right turn lane at that location.
And we aren't actively proposing it.
We are not. I'm not.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Anybody else? Okay. Anyone in the audience? Any questions? 10619? Nope. All right, thank you for the update. We'll just go through the council for any updates they want to provide that aren't on the agenda. Bridget, start with you. Anything? No? Okay.
Oh, no,
Nate?
sorry, I couldn't get it off mute. I just wanted to give everyone an update on the Petco bill. It did not make it out of committee as far as I know, but I know that there are folks submitting comments. So if you're inclined, you can submit comments to the PSC. Basically just stating how you feel about it. They'll take comment from almost anybody, including major players. So that's out there.
You took comments through the 18th, is that correct?
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Through May 18th?
I think it was the 18th. I can check though.
Okay. Matt, did Sue Ellen meet with Mr. Chin? Did she mention that today? She mentioned she was speaking with someone.
It was either, I think tomorrow, wasn't it? Or this week, maybe this morning.
It's the 16th, I'm sorry,
16, okay.
16th, yeah.
Okay, well, maybe, I know, Sue Ellen, our town attorney, had mentioned she was going to speak with someone, so maybe, when you talk to her tomorrow, you can find out if she has or when she's going to do that. So I know several of the municipalities have been chatting about it. So, Nate?
Sure, two quick updates. So we had the public meeting, public workshop, is what we called it, for our TLC grant, which was from the Montgomery County, or the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, for studying Connecticut Avenue, pedestrian bicycling, safety and access improvements. That workshop was on April 21st and was, I think, really well attended in person, and then also it was done hybrid. So there were a dozen or two dozen people online, 30 people in person. And I think it went really well. There was really good discussion, really good questions asked. We have poster boards up to show the improvements being studied. And we had a survey that preceded the workshop, and we left it open a week after. I think it just closed last week. And we received 586 responses. So we've had a lot of input. We're actually going to have a targeted follow-up survey for Kenmore residents, because of a main goal, one of the main goals of the effort is to really connect Kenmore better to the town and improve the connectivity there. So we'll be doing that this Saturday at the Edith Throckmorton Park dedication event, and Victor and I will be surveying people. We have like a slimmed down version of the longer survey, which took people on average, I think, 16 minutes to do. We said 5 to 10, but sorry about that. People still obviously found it was worthwhile because they stuck with it. We had 500 plus responses. So the outcome of that will be a report which will identify key recommendations that we want to move forward with, packages of funding applications, or how to package them into grant applications, or prioritizing a capital improvements project budget. If we control the parts of the roads that were being studied that connect to Connecticut Avenue, or if it's on Connecticut Avenue itself, it would obviously be related to state highway. But we partnered with the county's Department of Transportation on that. So it's really about getting everybody together and coming together to help improve Connecticut Avenue. So that will feed into the bicycling and pedestrian priority area designation plan, which really is the next step in doing the next level of detailed analysis and feasibility study for the improvements. So that's one update. The report will come out in June. The other update is on a similar note. We, in addition to kind of marking in our capital improvements budget a detailed feasibility study for improving Kensington Parkway bicycling and pedestrian access and safety, we've also been talking about, and I reported on this in a previous council meeting, we've been talking with some neighboring jurisdictions, particularly Chevy Chase View, North Chevy Chase, and also with the county Department of Transportation, on studying how to realize the bike path and the bike lane that is planned in the bicycling master plan for the county, to go all along Kensington Parkway basically from the MARC station and linking it all the way down to the Purple Line and the Capitol Crescent Trail. So we're trying to gather support from the county to really be the lead on the grant application, but what it would do is give us an opportunity to look at it together, as opposed to in pieces as how it's being done right now. So we may be able to get that application. It all depends on, I think, the county's support, but we have Andrew Friedson's office who we've been working with. Matt had a couple of calls with them. I don't know if there's more update on that over the last couple of weeks, and the neighboring jurisdictions are really, really excited about it too.
Are the neighboring jurisdictions willing to put funding in if we do not get the grants?
Yes.
If we get the grant, yeah.
No, if we don't get.
No, well,
So the thing about the grant is it's matching, the matching grant. So it's an 80-20 matching grant, but essentially the organizations that are submitting, or the jurisdictions submitting, have to upfront the cost, and you get reimbursed once the grant completes. So we have to work with them on putting the money up, but there's, the MOU process and sharing the costs and everything that would need to be set up.
and as they said, we're kind of dependent on MCDOT taking the project
being on this,
Right.
if it's awarded. So Andrew Friesen's staff is reaching out to the director of Comcast to see if something they can be the project manager on.
Okay.
And maybe worth, since we're on the topic, I don't know, Tracy, you were there, but just south of us, Connecticut, the Kensington Parkway section between Littledale and Saul was being studied and actually all the way to the final design stage for a shoulder improvement. And there was some pushback from the resident, particularly some of the residents that live right there along the stretch that some are in Chevy Chase View, some are in unincorporated parts of the county. But they did a walkthrough, as I understand. I wasn't able to attend last week to just go through what a amenable solution is. But my main point is that if we do this as a first step, bringing it together, all the different jurisdictions into this one kind of combined approach would be the longer term solution. But in the short term, I think they came to some, was there any resolution?
Understood, they were just going to pave the road in the shoulder,
Is the short term solution?
in the short-term solution, and then study the section.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, quite honestly, right now, the shoulder is a mess,
Yeah.
and it's a very difficult walk.
Yeah.
To try to walk through that, and you certainly can't ride a bike or run through it. Too
Yeah.
dangerous with the amount of large asphalt pieces that are,
Yeah.
and it's uneven.
Uneven.
Yeah. And I think that was the WSFD agreement
To do the.
to do the, right, just to pay it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it for me. Thanks.
Okay, good, thank you. Connor, do you have
Sure.
anything else for that?
I put it out on the list of already last week, but the Villages of Kensington, which is an all volunteer nonprofit organization that helps with seniors and at-home folks within our community and the greater Kensington community, is doing a search for additional volunteer board members. So they meet once a month. They're looking for individuals who'd be interested in serving as board members or in a leadership position. They are hosting an organizational meet and greet on Wednesday of this week at 5 p.m. from 5 to 7 at the Kensington Park Library at 4201 Knowles Avenue. So anybody who might be interested in helping to serve our community and those residents who can benefit from the Villages of Kensington, please show up on the 11th. If you're unable to show up on the 11th, Jennifer Ivory, who's on the board, who is a nearby resident and a good friend of mine, is happy to answer any questions. So feel free to reach out to me, or I can provide her email and reach out directly to Jennifer.
I'll just say that I know that next Wednesday, there's a meeting between the business community and the Montgomery County Police. I'm on the board of the Montgomery County chapter of Maryland Municipal League. And we, at one of our meetings, we had Chief Marcus Jones attend and sort of give us a perspective on policing in the area. It's no secret that there's been a rise in crime and a rise in different kinds of crime. And so I'll give a quick summary of his view, his approach. He acknowledges the rise in these ghost guns. He said that they're trying to address the car meetups on a regional basis because cars are mobile and it's really hard to do it if all you are doing is in Montgomery County. He pointed out that 20% of the department is eligible to retire and that they have not been able to maintain hiring, so that they're looking to increase the starting salary and they're looking for other ways to improve morale. He was blunt. He said the fact is people are leaving here and going to places in the country where defund is not an issue. So they're trying to manage it. They're trying to maintain a level of policing that is needed for this area. So it's nothing new. We've seen this in the news. To the best of their ability, they're trying to address it and say for the losses and looking through
A lot of police officers that use town hall quite a bit for whether it's for lunches or for using the restrooms. So we actually have police presence. I know they tend to sit here at town hall, but it is you know, if they do have some presence here, it would be nice if maybe they drove down Howard Avenue a little bit more, but I at least, you know, I've come here and I've seen 2 or 3 police cars parked in the lot, so they are present within the town and nearby, so I believe the one incident, did we get a confirmation from District 2 regarding an arrest on that?
We haven't.
Okay.
And we can ask them for follow-up at a meeting Wednesday.
Okay. All right. Also, I do want to mention that we have food truck night is coming back, starts May 19th. And it'll be I think that's the third Wednesday. Thursdays. Yes, sorry, third Thursday. Yeah. And it's from 5 to 8 and it's along Armory Avenue. Also, the Kingar event, hopefully we have it. They're saying 70% rain on it.
There a rain date for
I don't know, a rain date for the rain date. I don't know how much they can crush. Yeah. So Wednesday and Thursday look spectacular. So we'll see. Sometimes the weather shifts, so it pushes off. So hopefully they'll be able to have it. Is there a backup plan for surveying the residents of Kendar or
door to door.
door to door? Okay. No, I mean, I think it would be important. It's too bad if it does. So we'll see. And I think there's also a bake sale for Kensington.
KP fifth graders are doing a bake sale at Howard Avenue Park this Saturday during the farmers market. They've done this the last couple of years because of COVID, but it's also proved to be very successful and more engagement and connectivity to the community. Because one thing, they used to run these bake sales before school events just in the hallway of the school, and you know, they got the parents, but the kids have really enjoyed being out in the community and meeting dogs and meeting other people and going to the farmers market and it's hitting them.
Yeah.
So, but they are scheduled for this Saturday at the farmers market, like 9 to 11.
Speaking of the farmer's market, I have a question. I saw that I got an email from our coffee vendor that they're not coming back. Do we know who's going to be taking?
I don't know who's going to be taking the spot. We've had some changes, like the olive oil man, he retired, but we have a new olive oil vendor. So Shirley she works on that. So you can reach out to Shirley and ask her. Man, right? Actually, the pickles are good. Yeah. And I believe the KHS concerts are starting on the 4th. Leslie, do you know if that's right? The concerts? You're muted.
Yes, it is. Starts the 4th and the schedule is full all the way through the end of September.
Great. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll have good weather on the 4th. We'll stop with these Saturdays. Great. Okay, thank you, Leslie. Okay, does anybody have any questions with any of the reports that the council gave? I'm not seeing any hands. So we will move to town manager and staff. Yeah.
Sure. Just like to acknowledge that we are once again a Tree City USA. Thanks to Alex, and we got our certification back. So we'll apply again for 2022 next year. And
You get a flag or a sign, you get a
send us
sign.
a proclamation.
Yeah.
Buy our own sign.
At least a tree didn't get killed too, in order to make.
It's over the sign.
For those of you in the audience, you notice you had to use our side entrance. Just a quick update on the veranda and parapet project. We had a on-site meeting this morning. They are on schedule. We are looking to complete the project in about 7 weeks. So they're on schedule there. We matched the bricks as best as we could this morning, so there'll be a slow variation, but we'll try to match the bricks to get the result. So.
For June election, just everybody saw the signage, will come in the rear door.
Correct. So the contractor is going to remove the ballot box for us this week. We'll move it to the side entrance, and then just to kind of touch on the election, we will send out absentee ballots to every registered voter in the town later this week. So they have the option to either mail it or hand deliver it to town hall if you don't know in person.
If you want to remind me of recent change,
Application, right?
just the,
Stations they have to ask for it and then get it from else.
So it's just an application. You have to send an email or call Susan to request the actual application.
and people that are non-citizens of the United States can, they have to register in person.
In person, they have to register in person with the town staff and provide an ID that is on our website for you.
Have we had any registrants?
We have one. It's nothing.
Right.
Thank you. Any questions from the town manager? This report? Seeing any tiny little hands pop up? Okay, anybody in the audience? No, okay. All right, we'll move down to public appearances. It's the opportunity to speak on any subject that is not on tonight's agenda. Please come to the front of the meeting. Thank you. Give your name. Good.
Thank you.
Just give your name.
George Buckwalter, Fawcett Street. I'm sure you're aware, I'm the one who sent the message about the gigs, entertainment. There's a definite, noise issue between the, 10416, 10422 apartments and the Simpson, which you're not sure their address. The county noise ordinance is after 9 p.m. on the weekends is 55 decibels, which is not very loud compared to a rock concert. The rear building is probably about 100 feet from the from Giggs's parking lot for the venue. We have one of the residents back there actually left because she knew that the music was going to be too loud, you know, to live in her apartment during the concert. I don't understand. It's not, I don't think it's a good venue to have that close to, you know, multifamily residential property. I mean, even the corner of the 422 property is probably about 3 feet. And the sound ordinance goes from the line of the property. So 422 to, you know, that back wall in the parking lot over there where they had the thing, it's probably about 5 or 6 feet. It's there's other people that it can be pretty annoying. You know, if I understand that people enjoy to go out and listen to music, but I don't think it's a spot to have a music venue. I mean, where else in the county do you have a music venue that close, outdoors, and it's next to a residential area, or is it? That I'm aware of. I mean, most of the music venues are on acreages, like Stratton or even in the bars, they're, you know, they're limited too. I understand that Hank Beatles opening back up had to keep the volume down in the neighborhood over there. Apparently they were complaining. They just, you know, I can hear my apartment across the street. It's not, you know, it's not to the point where it's, you know, physically, you know, bothering me, but it's just, you know, the other issue too is we have, you know, the concert goers parking on Fawcett Street. And when it lets out, you know, they're, you know, they've been sitting in 100 decibel music for hours and they're talking loud. And it's just a, you know, another disruption on, you know, the weekend. Saturdays usually and Sunday are usually the busiest times on Fawcett Street. Or, you know, people are off on the weekends, you're doing your shopping, whatever, farmers market. And it's just one more thing. added to the. Plus we have the concerts at the Howard Avenue Park, but that's usually over, afternoon, 1 o'clock, unless we have one of our neighbors, deciding to do their own concert.
I think KHS is just an hour. I think that's typically 10 to 11, I think is what they are.
Yeah.
And then you have the pop-up concerts
Yeah,
that seem to, that just kind of happen
Yeah, we're
organically.
all afternoon long.
Yeah.
I don't know, just, I told some of the neighbors that I would, bring it to your attention and, see what you all, I didn't want to call the police because I thought that was going to be fruitless and I think it's a waste of their time. There wasn't anything seriously going on there. But if it's to continue, who's going to monitor? I mean, he's got to turn it down. I don't, and they can't have residents, being, displaced by, loud music. 9 o'clock's 9 o'clock, and law's the law.
Right.
So that's me, what I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sure.
Thank you. Matt, did you want to?
Sure, so-
Done some investigation or looked into some of these things?
So we spoke to Alcohol Beverage Services, who is the enforcement agency in this case, because alcohol is involved.
Right.
And they are aware of the complaint, that I spoke with them on Friday. And Ron Price, who's the licensing agent for ABS, is discussing the issue with County DPS, Department of Permitting Services, who specializes in the noise ordinance.
Right.
They are gonna talk this week, trying to figure out if there's a plan. We asked about a waiver. The waiver appears to be construction projects only. There doesn't appear to be a waiver for concerts or fairs or any kind of special event. We did speak with Sean and Olivia from Gigs. We told them that there was a complaint, so they are aware. And there is a possibility they will have to change their hours. But we're working with ABS and we'll provide more information as soon as we hear back.
Yeah, I talked with somebody from the alcohol,
I think you spoke with either Jody or Gabriella, probably.
Sure.
Okay.
I understand that it's a department process to get.
Yeah.
George is not sure the recording, is the recording picking George up from the?
Probably not.
Yeah.
We're communicating with ABS. Once we hear back from them, we'll kind of put a plan together. We'll talk with Sean and Olivia. If they change their hours, if they do offer a waiver for special permits, we'll allow you to know, see if there's another enforce for you on that end.
Yeah. Well,
Are there any other complaints
Not this past concert.
from previous?
Previous concerts, yes.
Was that sorry?
So you have to remind me.
Okay. Yeah. Second complaint.
Yes.
No, I mean, I was gonna say, I think it's, obviously, it's an important issue because I could hear it all the way over a Baltimore Street. You could probably hear it.
This is the first one I attended, so
Yeah.
first one I'd ever attended. I've heard them from the outside.
Yeah.
And I know when I've come to lock up the church at night, I can hear it from the parking lot. I mean,
Yeah.
that
I mean, first, this might be crazy. I heard on the radio that they also had issues with this at outdoor venues in DC because of a weather phenomenon with low cloud cover and the acoustics were reverberating. But so it was the first time I heard it, and I could actually sing along with our kids' song.
must have been in the eighties music.
Want to be big? No, so I couldn't imagine what it would have been like to be like right next to it. So I know Sean and Olivia and love outdoor music and it has to be with.
I think we can
Yeah.
figure this out.
It's, I mean, I understand that we have this one concert, but my understanding is this is a huge issue in Silver Spring. Where you have,
Well, at the Civic Center too, they have an outdoor plaza there where they do music. Now, I don't know whether they go past 10 o'clock, but they do a lot of outdoor music at the Civic Center.
We reached out to them, we've not heard back yet to see if they provide a waiver for music. We've not, figured out from that. Be great, but I think Ron, his team, maybe has one. Supplying.
in addition, we're sort of reimagining Silver Spring. Now that other areas are we're reimagining the distinction between commercial sections and residential sections. And I think you just mentioned 55 decibels and for non-residential it's 62. I don't know how that's going to work going forward where we might have, commercial on the ground floor and residential above. But I think they've got to update the regulations to take that into account. Like I said, I don't know that we're going to be the ones that get them to do that. But there are enough other venues around the area that they ought to address it.
Anybody else?
Same subject.
That's okay.
Jeff, we see you. We'll get to you next.
I am Alice Kessler. I live across the street as well. And where the noise is a problem too, but I'm very concerned, and it's not just the one complaint that's happened in October too. We had inebriated people out on the street. There's no police presence. I don't know what the alcohol law is. I know George has been going back and forth with everyone, but we at least need to have some police in the area at the time. I was accosted by someone who was drunk on the street in front of the hair place. He was kicking around furniture or something on the street, acting very badly. Again, nothing worth calling the police over, but it's just annoying that I can't walk down the street on a nice Saturday night and not have some drunk causing trouble. And when they come out afterwards, I have it on video. I was just so disturbed at it. This was in October, walking down the street out of the concert, carrying beers, going back to their cars to drive. It's very clear in the videos I showed to you if you'd like to see it. They're driving afterwards. There's no police to watch. They tear down the street when they leave. I was watching them sit down the street afterwards, and no doubt under the influence. And that's something else that we really badly need, is to have a little more, I know there's a problem getting enough police, but they really can't just go carte blanche on that evening running around. I love having the entertainment and the nightlife and the activity in Kensington. It's fun. I don't have a problem with that, but they've got to curb it a bit, curb the fun a little bit.
And of course, you walked out with a beer, that's definitely not something they should have been doing. I was yeah, they should not be walking out with drinks. That
They definitely are, and I
Yeah.
know on the video, not can you tell my word, but
Did you see any of this past concert?
I didn't bother going up there.
Okay.
It was just too many people up there. I'm tired of more.
Not only this, because I think comments made at the October one, I think they've made improvements because I was there watching, and they were they didn't allow cut nothing out of the property this time, right? So I think that was heard, but I agree. I think it's not unreasonable to ask the venue to contract for a police officer or to be in the vicinity.
And ABS does have regulations based on the size of the concert, so we can reach out to them and maybe make it as part of their permitting process.
Great.
Okay, well,
Come, George. I know. Well, sit closer to the podium. And get your steps in tonight.
If I actually saw it there. I just wanted to make one comment, looking at the county regulation, whatever, even alcohol, they are supposed to have a security plan in place.
Well, they do have security people that are letting people in. Well, I'm not sure, whether their
They're checking.
training is checking IDs.
It should probably work both ways, in and out.
Right.
With the alcohol, and I would think that their alcohol pass would preclude them to make sure nobody walks out with alcohol.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I witnessed as a participant. I was carded, Casey was carded going in, which made her feel really good. And then leaving, you couldn't leave with anything green. They just
So
stopped.
you actually went inside?
Yeah, I was at the venue.
How loud was it?
Well, I have 4 kids at home. You know what? It was a night out. It didn't seem loud at all.
Good night, that's a lot.
Okay. Anyone else in the audience before I go to Zoom? Okay, let's be the Zoomer. Just making sure anybody in the audience first. Jack, you're up.
Thank you. A couple of things I'd like to mention. The other day I had lunch at the Deli Club and I watched the cars on Fawcett Street sort of very cautiously inch their way into the intersection so they can see the cars that are coming on Howard Avenue. And an effective, inexpensive solution to this problem is to put two mirrors at 45 degrees on the utility pole that is across from the end of Fawcett Street. This is in the engineering plan, but somehow it has never been done. And at the council meeting last month, there was a lot of discussion about the intersection of Hadley Place and Carroll Street. And I think two mirrors at 45 degrees on a post at the end of Hadley Street would allow people on Hadley to see the cars that are coming on Carroll Place, and also the cars on Carroll Place to see that there's a car waiting to come out on Hadley.
Okay,
Okay,
anything else?
yes, I have a couple of astronomical announcements. Saturday night, Sunday morning, May 15, there will be a full moon and a total lunar eclipse. The lunar eclipse starts at 11:30 p.m. and goes until 12:54 a.m. Second, you're doubly blessed. On Saturday night, the 28th, Sunday, the 29th, there will be a conjunction of Mars and Jupiter. The planets will be within half a degree of each other. That's about the apparent diameter of the moon. And the closest approach will be at 11:03 p.m. Saturday night, and they will still be exceedingly close when they rise in the early morning for those who are up early morning to see the sunrise. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. I did notice that at Hadley and Carroll Place that the trees have been trimmed.
Yeah.
I did notice that.
We, I can give a quick update. One of the resolutions will address the traffic analysis data that our
Great.
traffic engineer did. We did 6 separate locations. One of them was Hadley and Carroll. So we have not discussed the data yet. I just got it about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
We did on them to do this for this thing like more aggressive.
Okay.
Big plan there.
All right. But I did notice that the trees have been trimmed, so the sidewalk is. Is anybody else on the Zoom that has their hand up? See?
Not present.
Okay. All right. So thank you, everyone, for participating, and we'll move on to ordinances, resolutions, and regulations. Matt?
Mayor and Council, for you this evening needs to vote on is ordinance O-02-2022. An ordinance of the mayor and town of Kensington to appropriate and adopt the fiscal year 2022-2023 FY23 budget to levy a tax on certain real and personal property under provisions of Article 6-203 of the tax property article of the annotated code, Maryland. We held our public hearing on April 11th. And the public record remained open until this past Friday, which is May 6th at 4 p.m. We received one public comment with regards to a proposed project within the CIP, which was sent to the council. And we're looking for approval this evening so we can set the tax rates to the state of Maryland.
Okay. We'll just pass this around.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't believe at the meeting we had any questions at all, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so this was our only. Okay. All right, so tonight we're not taking any further questions. The hearing is closed. So we will be voting on the ordinance, budget ordinance. Council, is someone like to make a motion?
I move that we adopt ordinance number O-02-2022.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Bridget is aye. Thank you very much. All right, so number 2,
Thank you, council. Before you, this evening is resolution R-11-2022. Resolution of the Kensington Town Council confirming an appointment made by the mayor to the Board of Supervisors of Elections. Within reading the code and charter, we realized that Tina Sherman, who we appointed last month, did not serve on both Ethics Commission and the Board of Supervisors of Elections. So we have asked Robin Watson, who previously served as the chair for the commission a few years ago, and she has agreed. So
I believe we did give Tina the option to resign from ethics, and she chose that she wanted to stay on.
she preferred to stay on the Ethics Commission than to serve on
Right,
Board of Supervisors of Elections.
okay. Does anybody have any questions about this resolution? Not seeing any hands. Okay, can we make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number R-11-2022.
Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. And Robin has experience with this. She was served for many years on the Board of Elections. All right, number 3.
Thank you, council. Before you this evening is resolution number R-12-2022. A resolution of the mayor and council of the town of Kensington authorizing a contract with Whitman, Record, and Associates LLP for consulting, engineer, and project management services for repair of 3 town bridges. WRA would serve as the project manager. They would also write the scopes and bid out the project for us on our behalf. This is the contract to hire them as the project manager. Please note that the contract is for some not to exceed $40,000. They do not believe they'll come near that, but we just have to get a little bit room just in case there were some issues with the RFP. So.
And this particular company also did the bridge on Beach. Is that correct?
We were very happy to find them. They are actually an engineering firm that oversaw the bridge repair project down on Beach Drive. So we are technically piggybacking off Montgomery County's contract with them for the services. And this is the firm that we hope to hire as well for our to oversee our stormwater analysis project.
Each in Kensington Parkway.
Correct. Yep. So
Sterling too, right?
they're very familiar with Montgomery County, Silver Creek, Kensington. This was a good find for us.
Yeah.
So.
I believe somebody had previously asked why we need to hire someone, and we are not bridge engineers. We don't handle projects like that, and it's better to have the experts leading on that. So this is not something the council or our town manager is capable of handling. So that's why we're going to this, to get it done right. Okay. Any questions regarding number 3?
Just a quick one, Matt. The fill in the blank cards, did they give a sense of the period of performance, how long it will take?
We're not sure. We're hoping that if adopted tonight, we can get the RFP out within the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Yep.
It's already been drafted. They need to stand for few of the specs for the most part. They'll rebid it on email and marketplace. So, my hope is early fall, and then by the time construction actually starts, it could be a year away. There's some random department that firing permits that will need to be pulled. They'll be working in a body of water. They don't believe there will be any full lane closures at this time, but they won't know until they start working. So the main bridge issue is with his cabin bridge.
Okay. Good.
But these bridges are, what did you say? There are 90 on a.
They all grade at 90 or above, so they're actually in very good structurally sound condition. Typically, they were more concerned with the 80s, lower 80s, and that's when federal funding is available. But these were all graded out fairly high. So minor issues. Most of it is with like the parapet, replacing the stone parapet with concrete, height regulations, railings. The only minor structural was with the Kensington cabin. Again, they weren't concerned. They were still rated.
So So if we have to wait a year, it's not
It's gonna be a while with the MDE permits.
right.
They would be recently rated, right?
Yep, yeah, they're rating them right now. So the same company that we're hiring to be the project manager is the company that engineering firm that actually writes the report, which reports for us.
Yeah.
They subcontract out the actual review and then they compile for the county.
And we have already been told that the mural on the bridge at Sun Kennedy will probably have to be removed. So we would have to redo it. Well, because they have to redo the
The parapet.
parapet.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
They did tell us that they thought they could saw cut it to the point where we could keep it and put it somewhere else. We'll see when that happens.
yeah, so it's something that can't be fixed, redone. Okay, and so, any other questions about this from the council? Before I open it?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am having grave difficulty hearing the conversation. I am picking up the main pieces of it, but could you identify clearly the 3 bridges that will be dealt with?
Sure. The first bridge is on Kent Street at Kensington Parkway. The second bridge is at Kensington Parkway and Frederick Avenue in front of Kensington Cabin Park. And the third bridge is located on Frederick Avenue over by Kensington House, kind of over where the Johnson Shopping Center is located.
Third bridge is where?
On Frederick Avenue by the Johnson Shopping Center.
Okay, got it.
And I took them into the comment section as well.
And there will be discussion about provisions for those of us who live near these bridges and how we will be able to utilize them or not.
Correct, yes. We'll know more once we have an actual contractor perform the work. Like we're probably a year out before anything starts. So.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. Thanks.
You have a question?
Do you have the exhibit A?
It is
The price.
the county is sending it. It's the bid that was actually issued to them from Montgomery County. So I talked to Sue Ellen this evening and she stated that it was okay to go ahead and approve the resolution as presented because it is under her discretion to finalize the resolution. And it's exhibit A's.
Okay. I mean, the fact is we're piggybacking off the county did rather than going out in RFP ourselves. Correct. And so we built into that is the trust that the county did a good job negotiating rates. And so I don't know that I need to see it. But it would just be nice.
That's fine. I did speak with the Montgomery County Procurement Office this afternoon. They're supposed to send it to me hopefully tomorrow, maybe Wednesday at the latest. But like we've actually worked with WRA before in the history of the town. They've had contracts with State Highway Administration on Connecticut Avenue. And again, we have the contract currently with Montgomery County for the bridge components. So
Thank you.
Engineering firm that did the parapet too, is that correct? The portico, sorry.
no, different. That's S&K.
Okay, you're right.
SK.
Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, don't have any other questions that I'm seeing. So council, do you want to make motion on number 4?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, number 3.
move to approve resolution R-12-2022.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Hi.
Okay, thank you. Okay, number 4.
Thank you, Council. Before you is resolution number R-13-2022. A resolution of the mayor and town council of Kensington approving a variance for a fence to exceed 4 feet in height within the front plane of the property on lands within single family use at 3010 Warner Street. This is in follow-up to the variance hearing we had last council meeting for Ruth Hoffman, in which the council approved the variance based on the topography. So on within the conclusions of the law, Mission space topography was the reason for the approval of the events.
Okay. Council, have any questions about number 4? Does any-
Just like
Go ahead.
we convey to her resolutions adopted and want to acknowledge the dramatic improvement she has done to that site. If they've done, I'm going to take that level of effort, yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think the gardens become therapy to really straight. Real straight into it. Yeah.
Make a motion to.
Oh, I just want to make sure, any questions from the audience? I'm not seeing any, so go ahead, please.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number R-13-2022.
Great, second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good, thank you very much. Number 5.
Thank you, council. Before you this evening is resolution number R-14-2022, a resolution of the mayor and town council authorizing the town manager to contract for the installation of a speed hump along the 10-800 block of St. Paul Street. This is directly related to our traffic analysis data for the 10-800 block of St. Paul Street between University and Decatur. Our traffic analysis typically requests 400 data points. In beginner review, it calculated 4,355 data points within 3 days. So this street creates tremendous amount of volume. The average speed was 26.5. I'm sorry, the 85th percentile speed was 26.5 miles per hour, which is greater than the posted speed limit. And the max speed reported was 38.2 miles per hour. Our traffic engineer recommended a speed hump to help reduce the speed. Typically, speed hump goes through a petition request from the residents. However, due to the speeds on St. Paul, we spoke with the 2 residents that will be affected on that block the most. And they both agreed that the town should move forward with the speed hump. There's a little bit of room where we can place it, which we need to figure out. But they both supported this resolution.
Particularly, there are 2 houses on St. Paul between University and Decatur.
Sanjay and Lyle are the 2 houses. We need to be 200 feet south of the intersection, but we also needed to make a difference towards later in the block. So Joe has recommended that we place it about 280 feet, which puts it in an awkward position for Lyle and his family. So we're trying to move it back up a little bit, maybe a little bit closer.
And had we wanted to petition, how far would you have gone? Because basically in that block, you have the 2 people that already agreed.
Yeah, we went on that block, and then our policy does say to go to the next adjacent block.
Okay, because so we only have residents on one side of St. Paul, and one of the other residents is the one who asked for it to be done. So you've already got 3 out of, I think, 5. So I think, yeah.
Is this, I'm gonna say this is what we discussed during the MTC meeting, right?
Correct. So the Zellmeyers actually requested a crosswalk at the location. We are looking to reconfigure Nokomis and St. Paul during a later stormwater project. So this was an alternative on the short term.
But the speed hump won't go where the crosswalk,
It won't, it will be further up. It will be.
further closer to University.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it will be kind of between, Wild Horses property.
I think that's a good.
And then we'll look at the rest of the intersection, once we do the stormwater analysis, see how we can reconfigure the sight lines.
And the storm drain analysis until next year, right? Okay. Thank you.
Council, any other questions?
I'm going to support it. I just, part of the reason that we have that traffic flow on that street is because the do not enter signs are in effect, they're less factual now that we have ways. So I know I passed the traffic committee on to MCT on to Nate, but I just hope that we'll continue to try to figure out if there's a way to keep that traffic up on University. I don't know.
And you'll notice on the data points, it's the rush hour where the highest volume is the 8 o'clock hour, the 5 o'clock hour. And
Oh, yes.
Anybody in the audience have a question regarding the resolution? I don't see anybody online. Somebody in the audience? Okay, Cal.
We'll work together on that. You can help me out. So
And I think Bridget's got another month.
Yeah. So it's getting back.
She
All I
looks
heard
forward
was
to
my
it.
name. I can't hear what you said, so I
So-
can't reply
so
with a
another month.
funky comment.
Yes.
Okay, can I get a motion for number 5?
I move that we adopt resolution R-14 2022, installation of the speed hump along the 10800 block of St. Paul.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. NZI is going to try to do that this spring.
Yeah, so for the speed hump, so we have the current paving contract for Fawcett, Mitchell, Lexington, Carroll, and Montgomery. We're having a little bit of supply issues with the asphalt cement. But once we get them in here, we'll do the speed humps.
Okay.
Just to go back to Jack's question, because he's raised this several times about the mirrors. Is there something holding us up and putting the
So
mirrors?
there's nothing official that we've ever studied for that. When Joe gets back into town,
We can ask
we'll discuss it, and yeah, and there's, I know, Jack did mention that it was in the engineering plan, but I don't know if that was done before me or, but it's not something that we discussed internally other than just here for us.
Yeah, it seems like a simple fix.
Yeah, no, I know, and there's sort of what works in real life and what works according to engineers.
Well, of course.
And so the mirrors are not part of that manual on traffic control,
Mm.
and they're not because, I mean, it's a whole variety of reasons. You don't want to, as an added feature, it's fine, I guess, because there's could be useless, which it very often is in bad weather at night. They're just not useful and you don't want to rely on them. And they get knocked out of orientation, and so you end up with ineffective. So I think we ought to fix the problem. And then if we want to add a bell and whistle of a mirror, that's fine, but we shouldn't look at it as part of the solution because there's so many things go wrong.
Didn't we just fix the problem with the bump out? And
Well, we
trying to fix the problem with the bump out and then there's this and added, you know.
I'm trying, I two places. One is Hadley and the other is Boston.
Oh, yeah, I was talking about Boston.
Yeah, I don't know if we fixed, I mean, we increased the sight distance, we know how to stop, and we still have a stop sign. With adequate sight distance. If you want to add mirrors, you know, I guess we can ask Joe that, I don't know that you can give us an official, you know, manual oriented answer. Despite what Joe says. Wow.
So officially,
Right? What if Joe says three-way stop is not justified? Well, that's it.
we have the speeder camera that could display with face, right? That's
Yeah,
not
that's-
necessarily approved.
It's in the name.
Okay. Or where we put it is not. And so, I mean, why not just die? See if it helps.
Well, let's see what Joe says, and then we can decide we're not going to either listen to him or we'll do it. But I think it's helpful to have at least a traffic engineer make a, you know, that we knowingly do it, that he's not recommending it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I just don't know why we didn't ask him yet.
That I can't answer.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Okay, I would like to remind everybody that our election is June 6th, that's a Monday. And I also want to remind everybody that our town meeting for June will be the following Tuesday, June 7th. We have a conflict with the Maryland Municipal League Summer Conference, which will be on the second Monday. So that's why we're meeting on Tuesday, the 7th for June. So please don't forget. And I just need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to, oh, sorry.
Bridget.
Motion to adjourn, Bridget.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're not in favor? Okay. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody on Zoom.
Good night.